All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because we don't want to keep you guys any longer than we have to. I am Brittany Carter. I'm a science teacher at the school, but I'm also in charge of student council, and we're the group responsible for throwing prom. And we are super excited to be able to throw prom for our seniors. So what we wanted to do was get the parents together and just kind of run some things by you guys about the event, what's happening, give you some information, expectations for that night. And then share some of the rules and guidelines that have to be followed when we're at prom, and then answer any questions that you guys have. So student council, they're mostly all here. Miss Johnson is the freshman rep. Mr. Mignona is the senior class rep. Miss Bennett is here. She's the sophomore class rep. And Miss who did I skip over? Miss Beth couldn't be here tonight, but she's our junior class rep. And then all of your administrators are here. So if you got any questions for any of us, please feel free. And if you're just joining us, please put your name and your senior student's name that's attending prom over in the chat so that we can take attendance that way to make sure that we get everybody who's here. So first, let me go through this. I have a slide here in a minute that's going to kind of give you all the information for your senior about joining the Google Classroom and the senior Remind group. So if they haven't done that yet, I encourage you to have them join, because not only will they get all their prom updates and information through those platforms, but that's where guidance and administration is communicating information about graduation, graduation practices, changes to graduation, and all the other things that, you know, come up along with graduation, like Justin's information, and all that fun senior stuff. In that Google Classroom, you will find this PowerPoint. So let me back out of this for just a second and jump over to it. And I think most of you have accessed this. I've had some emails from some of you guys about it. But this is the basic information about prom, the cost. The tickets went on sale last week. It will be next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend at Hilton Head Beach and Tennis. We've had prom there for the last 5 or 6 years. It's been fantastic. The students chose the theme of the Roaring 20s. Our decorator has come through big time and really worked with us considering COVID restrictions, and really gone big this year. So we expect prom to be super awesome. Here are the prices. Here's the information that most of you guys have already filled out and sent in with your student, and I appreciate it so greatly. It makes it so much easier for us when you guys sign all this stuff and send it in, and all they got to do is go buy their ticket. We do have applications that just basically explain our dress code and the rules, which we'll go over in just a second. And we keep all this stuff on file. So if you have any question about whether or not, you know, you've seen it, signed it, we can get it for you. All of this, again, is in the seniors classroom, so I don't want to read through it. It's there. If you need that information from any of us, please let me know. But this is the process that your student has been going through this week of getting the code. Sorry, I just got muted. They bring it to me, I sign off on it, and they take it to Miss Martz, who then processes their payment and gives them a receipt. So your students should have that if they've already bought their ticket. And then when they come to prom, all they really need is their IDs, because we're going through this process and keeping up with all the paperwork in this process. And so we have a full record of all the students who are attending and their guests and where their guests are from, and all their waivers and information is signed. These are the hours of the bookkeeper. She's being really flexible with us and opening up through more of the lunches to try to accommodate the payments. She will be out this Friday. So the price of $55 and $60 for non-students this week will run through Thursday, but she will not be able to process payments on Friday. So if you were hoping to pay this week, I encourage you to get that done before Thursday, since we won't be able to take any payments on Friday. This is the parent meeting. Obviously you're all here, so you got the message. Thank you for being here. If you know of any parents in your senior students friend group who might be attending prom, we are going to be putting this up in either the guidance or front office, and we'll play it so that you can come in and sign in that you've seen it. So please share that word with anybody who you know that might not be here tonight so that we can get all the parents signed off and have a seamless prom night and not have to worry about the who's seen the parent meeting and attended and so forth. Tomorrow we'll be nominating prom royalty. We talked about this with the seniors today. Only seniors will be allowed to vote and only seniors will be nominated. We will create a list of the top 5 girls and top 5 boys based on nominations tomorrow. And then as always, they will vote at prom for the court, and it'll be announced probably around 10:15 or 10:30 on prom night. Here are some FAQs. Again, I don't want to read through all of them because you guys will all have access to this through that classroom page, but these are some of the most common questions that we get from the students during the day. So we kind of wanted to put together a list of the most commonly asked questions to try to head some of those off, and it's worked pretty well this year. The biggest thing is that ticket sales are final, so any students who get into any trouble or who have any issues going on with school, who might not be able to attend, there aren't any refunds for that. So just want to make that clear going into it. The one question about raffling for a free ticket, we are going to have our Mr. Bobcat contest or competition, I guess you'd say, this year. It will be the Thursday before prom, and we're going to raffle off 2 tickets to seniors. So if a senior has already purchased a ticket, we will reimburse them if they win that drawing for a free prom ticket at Mr. Bobcat. And that again will be the Thursday afternoon at school before prom, but they have to be attending the Mr. Bobcat to be entered in that drawing. Other than that, all sales are final. So if you have any questions about any of this stuff, again, please let me know. And here's some of the information that I spoke on earlier. That's just the connection points for you and your student to get all the current and up-to-date information from Ms. Donica's office, from the guidance office, about dates and procedures with how things are going to work with the closing of the seniors' accounts and moving forward with graduation and so forth. Let me jump back over to our other PowerPoint really quick. And here's, again, this information that we just went over that your student or your seniors had access to for the past couple of weeks, when tickets are being sold, the cost, all the information that has to be turned in. So all this has kind of been out there, and we've been answering questions all along. Happy to still answer any questions that you have about what you're signing or what the applications mean, what the COVID waivers mean, any of that stuff. Here's some things that we're going to be doing for our seniors next week in preparation for prom, to just bring some awareness about some issues to the seniors, and for some of these events to any of the students, whether they're seniors or not, that are attending prom. And Officer Frazier is going to talk about some of these things that he and the Bluffton Police Department and Fire Department have planned for our prom attendees next week.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Okay, I'll start. So we have events planned on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week for prom. And again, like Ms. Carter said, we're bringing awareness just to kind of keep everybody informed. On Monday, we're going to have a local attorney, Tabor Vox. He's going to come in and talk about the legal side of getting a DUI. And he's also going to talk about, he's going to have a victim that's going to come in that suffered from a DUI incident. So that's going to have like impact to let them know kind of the awareness and the dangers of drinking and driving. On Tuesday, we're going to have a mock scenario kind of like we've had in the past. We're going to work together with the Bluffton Fire Department, the Bluffton Police Department, the local EMS, Lifestar, and the Beaufort County Coroner's Office, where we just create a scene, a scenario as if an incident has happened where somebody has been hurt or injured during a drunk driving incident. And on Wednesday, the kids are going to get a firsthand incident. It's the first time that we've done something like this, where we're going to have the Bluffton Police Department traffic team come, and the students will wear beer goggles that'll stimulate as if they're under the influence of alcohol, and they'll go through a field sobriety test, and they'll go through a short course where they're on a cart, simulating again as if they're behind the wheel and under the influence. A couple of the seniors that I've talked to about it, they seem very excited about some of the incidents, about some of the events that we have planned. So I hope that your seniors get the opportunity to take part in these events that we have in place. And if you have any questions or concerns about them, just please get them to me and I can answer them for you.
And I just want to add on here too that the Tuesday event, it's third block, so it'll kind of be during some of the students' lunches. This one is required. So we've done this for several years and it's been a great event. The students come out, they sign in, and this is kind of their mandatory event to be able to go to prom. Any student who is not at school, who has an internship, or an early release that is planning to attend prom, we pull them aside when they arrive at prom and we play a recording of the event, and the student has to sit and watch the recording before they can enter prom. So here's some of our expectations for prom, which I think Ms. Donica is going to talk to you a little bit about.
Okay, again, we are excited about prom. I'm just speaking to Lori Marks, our bookkeeper. She said that if there's anybody that needs to pay tomorrow, that's already cleared through Ms. Carter, she will accept money tomorrow morning only. Tomorrow morning, and if not, it'll be Thursday in the morning or the afternoon. Again, she's not going to be here Friday. She said next week she will collect money in the morning and at lunch, Monday through Thursday. Okay, so next week, even though we posted her hours, she's making an exception for prom. So she'll do it tomorrow morning only, and then she'll do it Thursday morning and Thursday at lunch, and she's out Friday. And then next week she'll do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning and at lunch. So those are some different options of paying for prom. That's changed a little bit from what we showed. Again, I'm going to read a little things, some of our expectations that we expect. Staff will not be social distance police. It is not expected that we can assume that the role of this event. What I will say is this, students, this is very important. You keep, you kind of look at your surroundings, because you know that little ruling of 15 minutes or more within that 6-foot limit. Just kind of keep your surroundings, know who's around you, just in case we do have an outbreak and we have to try to figure out who your close contact is. You'll be able to say who was kind of hanging around you the evening of prom. Hopefully, knock on wood, we'll be fine. But if not, kind of know your surroundings. So if we have to call you down after prom to try to figure out who you hung out with, you'll know. Once they depart, students and dates are not permitted to re-enter. So once you leave, and we are going to keep track of what time you enter prom and what time you leave prom. So that way, if there's any questions from parents, you want to know what time your child really leaves, we will have that documentation to let you know what time your child left and what time your child arrived. But once you leave, you cannot come back in, and that's to get anything. We will check IDs of all students and their guests at the doors when they arrive. Guests of other schools must arrive with their Bluffton High School senior. So if you are bringing a guest, make sure they arrive with you. No guest over 20 is permitted to prom. All this is in the application. Mm-hmm. Is there another page, Brittany? Mm-hmm. Okay. Dress code guidelines are on the application. Attire must be appropriate for the formal event and must have adequate body coverage. And again, if it doesn't look like it's adequate body coverage, we will definitely let you know. If you have a question about it, take a picture and bring it to one of the admins, and we can let you know. Keep in mind, Beaufort County School District's Code of Conduct is in effect. This is a school function, so there's no different than a day at school. Students who go to prom under the influence will be subject to both school and law enforcement. So again, please behave and act like you're supposed to act like. All vehicles on campus for prom are subject to search. Vehicles with alcohol, contrabands, and other drugs or weapons will be subject to the same school law enforcement responses as if they were at school. We will open the doors promptly at 6:45 and close them promptly at 11. Students need to make sure they have transportation. There's many proms where we're kind of hanging out waiting for parents to pick up your child. So again, all parents, prom ends at 11 o'clock. So please have your rides there promptly at 11, if not a little bit before 11.
And one question in the chat to address really quickly: virtual students, of course, are more than welcome to come to prom. Students who graduated in December, who have yet to walk, that will be walking with their class next month, are also invited because they're still part of that senior class. And then these events, and this is why we put the time in here, and we'll be sending this to them starting probably Sunday night, the timing of these events, so that virtual students who want to come and attend can do so. Most of these events will be outside, or they will be socially distanced in the auditorium, so they can keep their distance from each other and still be able to participate in the Prom Promise events.
But I will say, students and parents, if you are a virtual student or an early grad and you plan on taking part of next week's activities, you must come to school in dress code. Again, you must come to school in dress code. If you come out of dress code, we will not let you participate in these activities.
In terms of payment, I'm pretty sure Ms. Martz takes everything: card, check, or cash. So you can pay her however you like. I will say that I think in the event of the refund, should a student win one of the 2 tickets at Mr. Bobcat next week, she said the easiest way and the quickest way to refund that is via card, but she will accept any of those forms of payment. Are there any other questions that any of us can answer? Admin, Officer Frazier, any of the student council advisors? Feel free to just speak up and ask, or type them in the chat.
So if the virtual students cannot get to those events, then they would just have to go to the thing prior to the prom at the prom?
Right. It's usually less than a 10-minute video, and we kind of just put an asterisk by their name. And when they come in, we have a separate room with a laptop set up, and they just hop in there, watch the quick video, sign off, on our sheet saying that they've seen it, and then they go straight to prom.
Okay, awesome. That's what you'll do.
Sure. It's prom for all grades. Unfortunately, the district decided this year that prom would only be for the senior class, to try to keep numbers down. Some of the other schools are much bigger than ours, so you're talking about really big groups of students getting together. But we are fortunate enough to be able to open it up to underclassmen and outside guests. So while prom is only for the senior class this year, and hopefully we can open it back up to juniors next year, it is required that any junior or any other underclassmen down to freshmen, or an outside guest from another school, or maybe a recent graduate who's still friends with seniors, they must have a senior as their date.
Mask will be mandatory inside the building. There is a little balcony behind that's kind of connected to the rooms. So if students need to take a mask break, they can go stand outside. Now that the district has posted, if you're outside, the masks are not mandatory outside, that there is a little balcony that they can stand if they need to take a break. But inside the building, masks are mandatory.
I don't think I missed any more.
That's all I see.
I was trying to scroll up, making sure I didn't miss one up in the attendance. So if you joined us late, I know there were a few late add-ins. Please just put your name and your student's name that's attending prom in the chat so we can keep attendance that way. Otherwise, that's all we have. Please feel free to reach out to any of us via email. We'll be happy to answer any questions before or after prom about anything that comes up. Just reach out to us. You can call the school, and Miss Sabrina can get you to one of us as well. And thank you guys so much for attending. I really appreciate it, because I know everybody's super busy. And we look forward to an awesome prom.
I agree, Amanda Harrison. Go Bobcats.
You are so welcome. Mhm.